What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Tattoo Critiques. This week we're going over collector submissions, and we haven't done them in quite some time, so I'm pretty excited. Let's see what you guys sent in. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. Before we get started, I want to thank Crocodile Jackson and Flash Friends for sponsoring this week's video. That's right, folks, we've got our first sponsor, and I think you guys are absolutely going to love what they've got cooking up. More on that later. But for now, let's take a peek at our first submission. The first tattoo sent in is from Madisen Baisden. And Madisen, you sent in this sweet little cat tattoo that you named Paul McCartney, after your own cat. You sent over the references for your cat as well, so I can kind of judge the tattoo against the references, which is good. At first glance, this tattoo looks pretty good. But upon further inspection, I noticed that the reference photo of the cat has a nice white belly that's completely missing in the tattoo, which is unfortunate because it is a pretty prominent part of your cat. So I'm just wondering if the tattoo artist forgot about it or what. Actually, if I look even closer, I noticed that the left side of your cat's face should be all black as well, which of course can be an easy fix with just a little shading. So I do find it a little strange that the artist had all the right markings on the design, but it didn't transfer over to the actual tattoo, because these markings are what make your cat your cat. However, I do think the overall idea is very cute, and I love the name Paul McCartney. I do enjoy the colors used in this tattoo. I love the use of blues, and they do look well saturated. The whiskers kind of look like they belong on a stray cat. It just looks like he's been through some shit. And they really don't have a nice flow on either side, as well as the little blowout on the right-hand side, which you can see. And seeing that ear up top, well, maybe my intuition was correct. Maybe he has gone through some shit. And what's funny about this is my cat has the same exact problem with the same exact ear, and he has been through some shit. And I know it's not really that big of a deal, but its right ear looks like Chester Bennington's arm flames.
I was born on the cusp of Aries, which is a fire sign. Ooh.
Too soon? So overall, I think this is a really cute tattoo and a great idea. There's a few things that bother me application-wise, especially when it comes to those details that make your cat unique. But thank you, Madisen, for sending that in and letting us see your cat. All right, the next tattoo sent in is from Martin Huber from Germany. And Martin, you sent in this, well, I don't remember what these are called, but this tattoo is badass. I wish I had a slightly more detailed photo to work from, but I'm going to give you my critique as I can see it. You were worried with how this tattoo might age because you said there may be too much black in this tattoo. However, that's not something I can really tell. I mean, I'm not a fortune teller. I have a vision. Your tattoo will suck. Just kidding, that's something only really time can tell. There are way too many variables that can actually change how a tattoo could heal. Your skin, how it was applied, and even sun exposure can damage a tattoo. As it sits, I think this tattoo has a great amount of detail and it's pretty wicked. I know you had some concerns about all that heavy use of black, but based on the fresh photo that you sent me, I think it looks pretty good. I think the artist did a great job with the detail in the face, and a tattoo like this is very hard to pull off being symmetrical and on the chest, even though there may be a few discrepancies, for instance like the two swirls above the eyes. However, I'm just nitpicking. And the face itself has nice use of gray shades. You've got a nice contrast from the horns up top to the face itself. And I love those dark legs. It's got just enough skin tone to show off some glare. Overall, I think I'd be pretty happy with this tattoo, Martin. It definitely looks a lot better than the chest piece I'm rocking. So again, Martin, I know you were worried about all those blacks blending together, but just make sure you take care of it and hopefully it stays nice and crisp for as long as possible. Thank you so much for sending that in and letting us check it out. All right, the next tattoo sent in is from Drury, and you mentioned you traded a guitar for this tattoo in a trailer a long time ago. Well, I sure hope that was a Fisher-Price guitar because that's all this thing's worth. Now, don't ask me how I know, but I can definitely tell this tattoo is done in a trailer. I'm even wondering if the power went out a few times while he was working on this thing. Was this free-handed? Anyway, I can clearly tell they're supposed to be skeletons, although they do look like they've been dead for about 20 years. At this point, I'd probably even suggest going to see my buddy Gunny over in New York. He'll fix you right up. Oh, I think I'm finally starting to see the skeleton on the right's face.
Oh, it's like turning towards the camera?
Yep.
Oh, I see.
That took a minute.
I thought there was a question mark.
I thought she was completely facing to the left, but now I see the nose and the other eye and what was supposed to be the mouth.
Smiling.
I think she's smiling. She's got to be the only one happy about the situation. I mean, I wouldn't be too thrilled without any elbows, but my suggestion to the artist would be to maybe use different line weights and less bullshit. Well, hopefully this guy turned out to be an amazing guitar player, because tattooing is not his forte. Well, I hope you like this tattoo. I mean, it is really funny, and I'd be showing it off all the time. But thank you so much, Corey, for sending that in and sharing part of your collection. Speaking of collections, let me tell you about this week's sponsor, Flash Friends. Flash Friends is the first collectible tattoo trading card featuring Tattoo Flash. Tattoo Flash has been a staple in tattoo culture since the very beginning. You know that feeling when you walk into a shop, pick an available design, and walk out with a fresh tattoo to show the world. And while Tattoo Flash can still be extremely important in picking out your new tattoo, I've seen an influx in collecting actual Flash art altogether. Flash Friends puts a new and exciting spin on collecting Tattoo Flash, and it's just a really cool way to discover your new favorite tattooer. Flash Friends showcases over 40 different artists from around the world, handpicked to show off their unique style and mastery to the craft. And I gotta say, these things are so dang cool. They range in variants from common, uncommon, rare, to the ever-elusive holographic ultra rare. Flash Friends is for everyone, whether you're a tattooer or not. It's just an amazing, fun way to collect some super rad art. So head on over to flashfriendstradingcards.com and use promo code PONY15 for 15% off of any Flash Friends product. All right, let's see what we've got next. All right, the next tattoo sent in is from Connor Kilpatrick. And Connor, you sent in this heavy metal skull Cobra. Whew, that's a mouthful. Right off the top, I absolutely love this tattoo, especially those gray wash outlines holding that yellow together on its belly. Those things could not be more perfect, and you know I'm a huge fan of gray wash outlines next to color like this. It really does a good job of separating that yellow from the skin tone. And to the untrained eye, I think most people probably won't even realize that those lines are there, which is exactly the point. All these little circles running through the snake's entire body are so consistent. They're damn near perfect. Even the circles in the handle all the way up to the top of that axe are just so good. And listen, I don't need any of you medieval nerds coming after me telling me that's a yarn bjorn or whatever you want to call it. It's an axe, okay? And you guys know me, I'm usually a huge fan of varying line weights. However, in this tattoo in specific, I don't think this necessarily needs it, as the artist did a great job separating those colors without it. Again, I think that super thin gray wash outline on the belly really does more than most people realize. If we look down toward the bottom of that tattoo, where that blood is sitting on the axe, although it does look a little like yarn, I'm here for it. And it's the only spot where a colored outline was used. I think it's a great touch. And finally, I think the color saturation, you really couldn't ask for better. Connor, I think you've got a really solid tattoo here. Thank you so much for sending that in and letting me take a peek. All right, the next tattoo sent in is from Michael Randall. And Michael, you sent in this Dune tattoo that you said you got a tap out session on and you fell asleep awful early. When you woke up, it was mostly fait accompli? Michael, stop using words that us stupid people don't understand. And by stupid people, I'm talking about me and Ryan.
Yeah, we dumb.
Regardless, you said when you woke up, there wasn't much you could do about it. So it seems like you're not super thrilled about this tattoo. All right, Michael, so this is one key reason why you should definitely research your artist before letting them tattoo something permanent on your body. Granted, sometimes an artist's portfolio can really show off work that they're best at, and they still might end up doing something like this to you. But I think if you were to research the artist, you probably wouldn't have left with a tattoo looking like this. Because I genuinely can't get over how much this looks like a thumb sticking out of the ground with a cat on top. Most of the time, and I'm not saying all the time, but most of the time when a tattooer is offering a tap-out session, that's usually a bad sign. And for those unfamiliar, a tap-out session is generally where the artist and client agree upon a price, and the client will sit for as long as he can possibly take it. It's a lot less common these days than it was, I don't know, say 20 years ago. And granted, some tattooers do work on tap-out sessions to grow their portfolio. And again, that goes back to research. You want to make sure you research your artist before getting anything permanently marked on your body. Unless, of course, you really just don't care. To me, it looks like a little bit of that brown may have fallen out up in the cat part of the sky. And I love the little seahorse addition to that cat eye as well. Now, I know this is a very tough reference to use on such a large scale. However, there are generally some things that I like in every tattoo, but in this tattoo, it just really doesn't exist. And I'm not sure how old this tattoo is, but all the letters up top and all the letters at the bottom are just kind of blending together already. There's not really a whole lot you can do with this tattoo. My suggestion would be to either cover it up, laser it off, or amputation. But thank you so much, Michael, for sending that in and letting me take a peek. All right, we've seen a lot of really interesting tattoos today. However, my favorite has to be the one sent in by Connor from Canada with this heavy metal skull cobra. I did it. Connor, this thing really does have it all, and there's really not one part of this tattoo that I am not a fan of. The lining, the color saturation, and the design overall really tie this thing together. I myself am gonna go take a peek at this artist's page and see what other kind of work they're putting out, because this is definitely something I'd be proud to wear. So congratulations, Connor, on being my favorite this week. Wait a minute. Hold up. Before we go, you know we gotta talk about my featured artist of the week. And that artist is Victoria Lee out of Beijing, China. From black and white to color tattoos, she really knows how to lay down realism. And a lot of times you see these great artists only being able to conquer black and white or color. but nothing can stump her. From the wrinkles in people's skin to the fur on an animal, she really knows how to control those insanely difficult techniques. You know, when it comes to tattooing, you never really stop learning. I myself have a list of tattooers that I would love to learn from, and she is definitely high on that list. So make sure to do yourself a favor, head on over to her page and check out all of her work because it is absolutely mind-blowing. And make sure to let her know I sent you. Once again, thank you guys so much for sending in all your tattoos. Remember, if you'd like to do so, you can send in yours to ponycritiques@gmail.com. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and of course, I will see you all next week.